Lisa Snyderman, and this is Conversations on Creating to Heal. And today I'm really thrilled to be speaking with Vincent James from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And Vincent is founder of Keep Music Alive, as well as author of 88 Ways Music Can Change Your Life, along with his wife, Joanne. And his story is one of never giving up on your dreams and always moving forward once you found your passion. So thank you, Vincent, and welcome.
You're very welcome, Lisa, and thank you so much for inviting me to join into this amazing mission that you're on with art and healing.
Oh, that's so great for you to be here. So I described a little bit about some of the hats you wear. Why don't you give a little bigger picture, maybe talk about the missions of both the book and your organization?
Yes, so we started off about 4 years ago. My wife Joanne and we had this idea to do a book series, 88 Ways Music Can Change Your Life. And we wanted to solicit inspirational music stories and quotes from musicians and non-musicians from all around the world so they could share their experiences with music and how it helped change their lives, how it helped, either educate them, provided therapy. So many ways music, as you know, has helped people. And we published that first book about 3 years ago, and we've been out, talking about that and now soliciting stories for volume 2. And along the way, I had a couple other crazy ideas, and we wanted to start. First, it was Teach Music Week 4 years ago. It's now an international holiday in March where we partner with music schools, music retail, and many other music organizations all around the world to offer free lessons to new students that week, kids and adults, because adults can benefit by playing music as well, even if they've never played. And a year after that, we started what is called Kids Music Day in October, where we partner with many of those same locations to hold special events, either celebrating or benefiting kids playing music. Could be an open house, could be a student performance, either in-house or out in the community, or an instrument donation drive, instrument petting zoo, where kids get to come try different instruments. Anything, again, that's going to really help draw the community in and celebrate kids playing music. Just last week, we partnered with over 500 music schools and other locations around the world in 12 countries to celebrate Kids Music Day. So it's really been amazing.
500.
Yes, 500.
That's
I know. I
amazing.
can't believe it myself. And our mission really is to help more kids and adults reap the many benefits of playing music.
Wow, what a mission. And I have to hear a little bit about how this all got started. So, I want to hear why kids, but maybe you'll be able to describe that in your own story. So let's talk about you. What were some of the events in your life that transpired, and how did that transform you?
Well, let's see, going way back, from elementary school, fourth grade, we had the opportunity to learn an instrument. We were very fortunate. And eventually, after getting turned down by my parents on the guitar and drums, something about too much noise, I settled on the trombone and played that throughout my school years, marching band, orchestra, concert band, and everything. And then an interesting thing, when I was about 12, my mom had always wanted to play the piano. And she talked my dad into bringing the piano into the house. And in her 40s, she started learning to play the piano. And I was drawn to that beautiful instrument there on the wall, like a fly to honey. It was just, I just couldn't stop myself, and started taking lessons shortly after, and then eventually got bit by the pop music bug. So music was a really huge part of my growing up. It was something I always wanted to do. And the event that really kind of shaped part of my life was I really wanted to go to college for music. But my parents, very practically minded, thought, you really should do something else like, engineering. And, I took their advice and kind of put music on the side and, got a practical degree and, had a very beneficial career in engineering for many years. But this music thing kept tugging at my heart. Like, I really, I was still doing music, part-time, writing songs, managing bands, working in recording studios, but it's just like, I feel like I need to do more than this. And an interesting thing, for many years, over like a 10-year period, I think I quit my full-time engineering job like 5 different times, trying to do something with music just to make myself whole. And so about 10 years ago was one of the instances where I, had left my job to pursue music. And as usual, things didn't go very well. in terms of trying to put enough, food on the table and, kibbles and bits for the cats. So, I needed to return back to the regular workforce, and it was right in the middle of the recession. So it was a very difficult time to try to obtain another job, during that time. And so for me, it was a very kind of a dark moment where I lived in fear for a period of weeks and turned into a few months where I just, didn't know what I was going to do. And eventually I was able to bring myself out of it. And music was definitely a part of that, being at least able to sit at the piano and play it, and just the feeling I would get from playing would just make me feel better and know that there must be a way out of this. I don't know what it is yet.
Mhm.
One of the lessons I did learn initially then was to just keep moving forward. And that was with the job search I had. I'd kind of given up, but I just learned, what, I just need to keep trying, keep trying, keep trying, keep trying, and eventually something will come through. Because a lot of times when we're really depressed about something, we just stop trying altogether because we really don't know what to do. Well, once I finally got back into the workforce again and started doing music, more as a hobby, I really, over time, I kind of was drawn into maybe wanting to do something a little more different with music in the future. Instead of it being about me, maybe about music in general, how music is helpful. And how this whole book series started was I was actually on a free webinar training about how everybody has a book inside them to be written, right? We all have
Mhm.
a book we need to share with the world. And at the time I'm on this call, I'm like, well, what am I really going to write a book about? I'm not really a great engineer, and those books don't exactly fly off the shelf anyway. And I'm a pretty good songwriter, but those books don't really sell either unless you're like a hit songwriter. But then all of a sudden I was hit with the inspiration. Well, what about a book of inspirational music stories from everyone? I could share my story, everyone else can share their story, and we can all benefit from the stories that we gather together. And that's really how the whole Keep Music Alive mission started, was with the book series. And then as we added on the music holidays along the way, we eventually did need to separate the book series from the nonprofit music holidays just for administrative purposes, but they're still really all part of our mission of helping make the world a better place through music.
What was it that drew you specifically to helping kids?
Well, I think it comes down to why we started this whole Keep Music Alive mission to begin with, was some of the, trends going out there in the world that, kind of bothered us. And one was some of the music and arts cuts that are going on in education, not everywhere, but in some areas of the country, which is very concerning. And then the whole technology shift where kids today can listen to pretty much any music they want, whenever they want, wherever they want, as much as they want, and they don't have to part with anything of value. So to kids growing up today, music really doesn't have the value that it had to perhaps you and I did when we were growing up. So we wanted to start with kids in terms of educational, try to get them to look more at music as a value proposition. And also because of the so many educational benefits that kids have when they have music and art as part of their educational process through their formative years. I mean, the research has been done time and time again that when we include music and arts in their early years of education, I mean, they do better in all their other subjects, the math, the English, the science. They stay in school more often. The discipline, the perseverance, the teamwork, the social skills they learn. The benefits are really too many to mention of why music is so important to kids. So I think that's really the reason why we try to focus on bringing more music opportunities to kids.
It's such a neat story, trying to follow your trajectory and why you decided to go where you did. So I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about the healing aspects. So creativity can lead to healing. And so for you, how has creating or sharing helped you or others heal? And how do you experience that?
Well, for me, it's a feeling inside. I really can't describe it. And perhaps that is something spiritual, when I'm either sitting at the piano and playing a song or listening to a song, even on the radio, just music moves me inside. I can remember being in college and walking across the campus and having a song in my head, getting goosebumps, giving myself goosebumps because I'm playing a song in my head.
Yeah.
It's just a really powerful thing for me. And then when I'm out performing, I've oftentimes played in retirement communities where I'm playing music, and you just see the faces light up of the folks that are there, and people come out of incredibly, their heads may be down, they may be depressed, or maybe non-reactive, but all of a sudden the music just lights them up, and some of them are singing along. and they come up and talk to you afterwards about how much it meant to them that you were there performing songs, that were important and that they remember from their youth. And to me, that's just such a powerful thing.
There's so much impact to that. Yeah. Well,
Yes.
right now, I just want to invite you to share a little passage from either the book or, something that's meaningful to you, and then talk about why you shared that.
Okay, yeah, I think what I'd like to share is there's a particular story, and there's many in the book series, as you know, personally. The one I think I would like to share came to us. It was one of the first stories that came to us from a famous drummer named Simon Kirke, who's in Bad Company and was in Free before that. And Simon, in his story, he talks about he was doing a clinic over in the UK several years back, a drum clinic, and he's up on the stage and he's in an auditorium. And he's up there demonstrating different drums, pulling them out one by one and showing different techniques, percussive techniques. And during his demonstration, he keeps hearing a clicking sound coming from somewhere in the auditorium. And he really can't identify what it is, but it's a little unnerving because he's doing percussion and there's a percussive thing going on. It's not him. It's like, well, what is that?
Yeah.
But the lights, because of the lights are on him and the house lights are down, he can't see what's going on in the audience. So he just continues his demonstration. And, he's doing his best. He's pulling out different cymbals, different little drums and little hand percussive instruments. And that, again, that sound just keeps coming and he doesn't know where he's coming from. This click, 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 click. And he's starting to actually get a little annoyed. He's like, here I am, Simon Kirke. I'm offered to do this clinic and who's making that noise? It's driving me a little crazy. But, he's a professional. He doesn't say anything. And he finally finishes up his demonstration. And at the very end, the house lights finally go up. And for the very first time, he can see all the way to the back of the auditorium. And in the back, there's a row of wheelchairs where kids that have muscular dystrophy have drumsticks in their hands. And they've been playing along with him the whole time.
Oh.
He just, I think his heart just fell out of his throat. He jumped off the stage. He went to the back of the auditorium and he kneeled down and shook every one of their hands and said, thank you. Thank you so very much for playing with me today. It really means a lot. And to me, when we first heard that story, it brought tears to my eyes. When I retell the story, it brings tears to my eyes. It's just an example of several things. One, how music can affect so many people, everybody in their own way. Everybody is affected by music and almost always in a positive way. And the second thing is you never really know what's going on out there in the world, whether it's something close to you or around you. And sometimes what you see is not what really is going on or what you hear. And, we all should keep an open mind and, not prejudge what we see and what we hear until we really uncover what's going on. And sometimes we're really surprised at the outcome.
Yeah, what you said really, struck a chord with me, because as you're telling the story, it seemed more of an annoyance and a frustration and something on, a negative thing that he's a little bit perturbed by. And how interesting that can all switch on a dime, when you find out what's actually happening for him.
Yes, I mean, how many times we've been in situations in our lives where we're around someone and we're in a situation, it just feels all negative. And then all of a sudden the curtain is pulled back on something. There's a reason why what's happening. And you're like, oh my goodness, I had no idea.
Well, also just the amount of empathy and compassion that what we're capable of, but also, we naturally gravitate towards that too when we find out, when the curtain is pulled back. It's amazing.
That's the most human part of us that we need to share, with everyone.
Yeah, well, for viewers that don't know, the reason I got in touch also with Vincent is I was really privileged to be one of the stories included in the book. So yeah, I'm really, I highly recommend it as a wonderful, inspirational journey, of so many stories and encouragement and hope and light. It's definitely a beautiful volume.
I mean, your story really, your journey, that what you went through and your struggles, really epitomize what the book is about. Somebody who really used music to help them survive and come out of such a dark place, physically and mentally, to be in a livable state where you can thrive to a level where, you're happy.
Oh, thank you so much. So before we go, can I ask you for some life lessons, something that you may have gleaned on your journey that maybe somebody going through something similar or some hardship might benefit from?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think two things that come to mind readily is one is, and I mentioned this earlier, is to keep moving forward. No matter what you're going through, get up, brush your teeth, put your clothes on if you can, go outside if you can, get a little sunlight. If you're trying to do a project and things aren't going well, just keep trying different avenues. Don't give up on your dream, your passion so quickly.
Mhm.
We often have to go through so many, negative responses before we finally find that one champion that's going to help us to the next level. And
Yes.
then to go along with that is something that I like to call polite persistence. Sometimes we'll send an email or do a phone call, and it's like 2 days later, well, we haven't heard back. They probably hate our idea. They hate what we're doing. It's usually not the case. There's a million other reasons why they haven't responded to you. So, you wait a week or so and you reach out again. And you wait a week or so and you reach out again. One of our mentors always tells us silence never means no. It can mean a whole lot of other things, but it never means no because you haven't heard no yet. So until you actually hear back from whoever you're prospecting for your dream, your passion, or for help, if you're going through something, you need help, don't be afraid to ask. And then maybe politely ask again a week or two and just keep coming back and try different avenues and never, ever give up.
I love it. So keep moving forward, polite persistence, and don't give up. Well,
Yes.
thank you so much, Vincent, for coming on to Conversations on Creating to Heal.
Oh, you're very welcome, Lisa. And thanks so much for having me and good luck on your event. And we're looking forward to watching some of it live that day.
Wonderful. Thanks.